brothers and sisters, family across the world. This is Atarif L, right here for Speak Up 757. Today, we are going to speak on going from bars to business building with brother Nevie, right here. Alright. This is very, very important, not just for an individual standpoint, but also for your progeny, your children, your family as a whole, and our people as a whole. So, without further delay, I'm gonna let the brother go ahead and give the family a little bit of juice.
All right, how y'all doing? I'm Nevie. I was born in Norfolk. I'm the owner of One Stop Plumbing. I'm the owner of Deeds. I'm the owner of I got a couple of other businesses, real estate business where we do properties and we do flips. I have a nonprofit organization that helps working in the city communities and neighborhoods called One Stop Essentials, which is a spinoff of my plumbing company, which is One Stop Plumbing.
All right. Well, I know that behind the scenes, we was discussing not just what people see on the surface, but actually the thought process, the mindset that one may need to evaluate going from here to here, from wherever you are to the point of being successful, the state of mind. Can you elaborate on that for me, please?
Well, essentially, a lot of people think that success is something that you wake up and you just become successful. No, you work at being successful. So essentially, if you have unsuccessful habits and ways, you cannot be successful as an oxymoron. It does not go together. So essentially, you have to build and destroy, tear down all the habits and stuff that are keeping you from becoming a success, and try to create and build new ones.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Give me and give us some of the common attributes that you had before being successful. What was common between you and the rest of the brothers at being unsuccessful?
Well, essentially, basically, watching TV, watching a lot of TV, not reading, drinking, smoking, running the streets, being in the club, dealing with this woman and that woman, just totally being undisciplined.
Okay.
Essentially, I guess, in order to conquer and hold success, you have to be disciplined.
Gotcha. So you basically can relate to being around, and if anybody watching, if you know that these are your characteristics, the ones that he named, with the multiple things going on in your life, one, that's what he identifies with or identified with at the beginning. So to eliminate, your statement was to eliminate these things. Was it to eliminate, cut them down, or yeah?
Well, essentially, I think you have to have a balance in everything that you do. Too much of anything is a habit.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to limit your vices. I'm not saying that I don't have me a drink every now and then. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I wanted to be successful so bad that I was willing to eliminate those things until I worked on the more positive things that helped me become successful.
Okay, so once you eliminated, you mentioned the TV, the bad interaction with women and the drinking and smoking. Once you did that, because let's say that every brother or sister that's not at that standpoint, what if they're getting rid of those things?
Mm-hmm.
What started you on that path?
Well, essentially, to take it back, I was an intellect and an athlete. I graduated at the top of my class. I was a track star. 12th grade, I killed 100, 200, 300.
Oh.
I was just, I was all into that.
Okay.
And, graduated. Instead of going left, I went right. And I made a bad decision. And essentially it took me to a place to where I believe I was set down, I was set aside, so I could face the things that were holding me back from success. And while I was down, I used that time to build. I used that time, I read. When guys was, getting, Hustler magazines, Penthouse and Black Tales, I was getting in Money magazines. I was getting in Black Enterprise. I was reading books like Art of War, 48 Laws of Power, Multiple Screens of Income. If you really want to become successful and you haven't been successful, you have to put something in you to help you with that.
Okay, so the information that you took in was more or less kind of in relative to like a diet. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, it's like it became a part of my everyday life. When I came in, it's like I had a book, and I watched stocks for years. I listed stocks. I went on the stock market, got the newspaper, and I wrote down stocks, and I listed the prices every day of the stock price. And at the end, I totaled up and found out which ones were the best winners. It's that serious if you want to be successful. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
So it's like it was a process. So same thing with plumbing.
Okay.
I'm a master plumber. I'm a master plumber. I'm a master gas fitter.
Okay.
I didn't pick up plumbing on the street. I picked up plumbing when I was in the system.
Okay.
So it was a guy that told me, hey, you can make $500 for a couple of hours of work. I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding me. He was like, no, I'm serious. I go home and then that's what I make. And I'm like, man, I gotta learn this. This can change my life.
So that was a different way of thinking. It was a different way of thinking that you can actually proceed in life off of a trade and still get funds.
Man, that's a very good point. Everybody is not college material.
Right.
Everybody is not an intellect. Everybody not gonna be a doctor, lawyer. Some people are good with their hands.
Right.
And trades for all the people out there that feel like they have no job or no way to start. Get you a trade. I'm working on trade building right now in my one-stop essential in my nonprofit. I want to get the brothers that's coming out, give them something to do, give them a trade, show them that, hey, if that guy can do it, I can do it. Right. And basically I did that. Okay. So now I want to be able to give that same opportunity to somebody else that's coming out, because you can make a decent living off of trades.
Okay. So one, don't want to leave the sisters out, you know what I'm saying? Because this does include you all too. All right? So don't think that as soon as a man or a brother say trade, it eliminates our sisters. But one, he mentioned the reading material, and two, I want to just make the point that the reading material and a trade are good things. One, you started reading different things that you wasn't doing before.
That's right.
That was important. And then two, you looked at not just working for somebody, but a trade. Let's get that together. It's a different.
Well, what I don't want to do is put a discount on education. I also went to college for accounting.
Okay.
So with that accounting background, that's why people like to say, well, you don't need school, you don't learn. Math is fundamentals. You need math throughout all your life. I was able to do my books for the first 8 years of my business because I knew what accounts payable, accounts receivable, I knew what that stuff was. So I was able to run my business. So don't think that you can just get into business and not be educated. You don't have to be the smartest person, but you need some form of education if you do not know anything about business.
Right.
So you don't have to go to college. It's books. It's the information age. Right. Google it. Anything you want to know. You want to know the statistics about basketball. You want to know what the hottest cars is and how much they cost. You can do the same thing about when it comes to something that's gonna change your life.
Okay, now I want to know also, these are steps that you took with your own initiative, or do we want to convey whether do people need somebody else to do this, or is this something that, you know?
Well, for me, it took a monumental, life-altering experience to bring me to the point to where I needed to apply myself. Usually, they say when you stripped of everything,
Right.
you're forced to deal with your issues. And I believe me going away forced me to think about, say, hey, you can lose your freedom for 6 months to a year of doing something wrong, and you might not get a second chance. So I was determined, while I was down, I was determined that I was going to do everything in my ability to set myself up for success when I re-entered society. I took the college program out there. The college used to come in, and they used to, professors just come in and teach us. We had college weighted courses.
Okay. So in other words, you accepted positive help too. We want to convey to the people that
you got to, because if all you're gonna deal with is negativity, that's where you're gonna stay.
Right, because people will accept negativity without question.
Right.
But then see what I'm speaking. You got one.
Well, I think you gotta wanna change. You gotta wanna receive it as well, because people always telling you good stuff or right stuff or telling you what you need to change, but it's up to you to want to change, or that light to go off in your head to be like, hey, I'm not right. I'm not where I need to be at. And if I keep doing what I've always done, I'm always gonna get what I always got. So that's a personal thing.
Right.
That's a personal thing. Because until you get to that point, nobody can help you. No matter how much good information they got for you. Until you're ready to change, one of my favorite mottos was, sometimes you gotta leave the dead sleep. Because no matter how much you talk to them, how much you build with them, until they wake up and ready, I'm not saying you give up on them,
Right.
but until they ready, you can't help them.
Okay. So we gather reading material, trade, and now also the willingness. You know what I'm saying? See, it's not what you say, but when you start actually being willing to want to change. Because a lot of people will tell people to hit, for them to hit what they want. Yeah, I'm going to do this, and then you never see it. No, but you actually got to have the will, which means that it has to be a practical manner of initiating a change in it.
Well, you gotta do something. I mean, a lot of people, from a spiritual realm, they want to pray on things. They want to wish for things. No, you gotta do things.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what we gotta do down here?
You gotta do things,
Okay.
man. I mean, you got free will,
Right.
but it's up to you, man. I'm saying, everybody has their, religious beliefs, political beliefs. The government don't dictate what I do. The president don't dictate what I do. I'm still making money. I don't care who in the White House.
Right.
So, but it is to be aware of what's going on, but that shouldn't stop you or discourage you from trying to be successful.
Okay, got you. I like that. It's basically, regardless of all the things that we're presented with in life, you know what I'm saying, you do have to make the determination, and you do have to proceed on that, build on it.
Yeah.
Build on it and actually put in some work towards it. So whether you are or you're not, ask yourself, world, family, am I putting towards the initiative and the effort that needs to be done?
Well, because you're not going to wake up successful, I promise you.
Is that what you didn't wake up successful?
No, you go to sleep unsuccessful, I promise you. You wake up unsuccessful. I promise you.
Without nothing done.
Without nothing done.
Okay.
Put in the work. Don't be with this new world and want everything to be instantaneous and right then.
Okay.
I've been in business 11 years.
Right.
I just started seeing money in the last 2-3 years where I'm saying, okay, I'm making money. It was times I couldn't keep $100 in the bank, $1,000 in the bank. But my workers was always paid, and I understood that I always had to put back into my business. If I want the same thing, if I want to get something out my business, I gotta put it in the business. Just like your body, your mind, same thing. Whatever you put in it is what you get out of it. Simple.
Okay.
Very simple. But you gotta apply it, and most people.
And that's a whole different league.
That's it.
Okay.
And,
well, what I want to do is, I want to give everybody a break. Give us a second. I want the people to be able to soak up, these first couple of fundamentals. These are some initial fundamentals that we're given, and what we'll do is we'll come back. We'll come right back with Brother Nevie, and then we're gonna let some of this digest. So until we come back, you have definitely heard Brother Nevie speak up 757.
Peace, it's your boy Breon, speaking up 757, the voice of our nation. Hey yo, I'm down here at Godfrey Soul Food, man. As you can see, the food is good, man. I need to come down here, man, get y'all some of this good grub. I don't miss no meals. You know what I mean? It ain't hard to tell that, but it's great food, a great atmosphere, man, good people, man, and it's black owned and family oriented, man. And they eat a lot of grub, a whole lot of grub. So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and do y'all, and I'm gonna do me, man. Y'all make sure y'all get down to Godfrey Soul Food, 5018 Princess Anne Road. Peace.
Welcome back, world, family, 757. This is Speak Up 757 with Brother Nevie on from bars to business and the steps and procedures that we want to encourage our family to take. So the question that we want to start out with now is we're gonna get into some meat of it, right? and I want the family and the world to appreciate. We're going into the experience now. Okay, so now you're sitting at the point of being released, and this is something that either if you're doing this now, if you're about to come home right now, when you was in that state knowing that you was about to come home, what was the mindset? And I also want to know what was the mindset of the family members and people around you.
Well, when that time was getting down, it had been, missed most of my 20s. So it's been a while, but I basically was prepared. I wasn't scared because essentially everything that I'd done in the years prior to that point was set up for success.
Okay.
The reading, the staying out the way, developing new habits, developing new ways, new thought processes. All those things was basically, I was at a point to where it's like, now is the time to put up or shut up.
Okay.
And you got all the tools, you got all the equipment, you got all the intangibles. Let's go out here and manifest it.
Okay. So right at that particular point, you was like, in other words, this is just a training. Do you feel like that right at the point of coming home? Okay, so the whole thing is for everybody else. If you're at this stage, we're not saying it's too late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you didn't prepare a year, 3 years at that point, we're just saying that if you are at this particular point, let's understand that you want to be ready. If you confuse, what? What if the person hears you and hears us and they confused?
Well, I guess for the basically and simply put, if you didn't put anything into yourself, don't expect anything out of yourself. So it still goes back to filling yourself with something that's gonna help you create a good living.
Okay, so again, this is, if you want to do better, this is not microwave, this is not add water and shake up. What he's basically saying is that you do have to put some time in it. If it's 6 months till you getting out, if it's the day that you're getting out, if it's 6 months from the day, if today is 6 months before, the day, or after, it's still the same thing, that it does take time for that seed to be planted in you.
You gotta plant the seed, water it, cultivate it, and watch it grow once you re-enter.
Right.
But you got, it's like building a house. You building that foundation. I viewed it as I was put away to deal with myself.
That's right.
I was put away to look at myself and say, hey, you better than this. Yeah. But what are you gonna do to change that? Because if I came in the same way, came out the same way I came in, I get the same thing.
Get the same thing.
So I was like, yo, I'm better than that.
Right.
So I spent that time learning and building. I read everything. I read, I was around all religions. I was around all types of people. I studied. I walked the track. I zoned out. I wasn't playing basketball. I was reading. I was, working in college. So all those things is preparation. It's investing in yourself.
So it doesn't really, what I get is, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, because if you're coming from an incarcerated venue, or even coming from college, or if you're coming from high school, or whatever it is, that you're basically letting us know, listen, the areas that I was coming from beforehand, I wasn't preparing myself, and that's what got me there. But then when I was there, I ended up preparing myself so that's what got me.
It got me because as you reading these success stories, you be like, hey, he was no better, he was no different than me. If he did it, how about maybe I can do it? If I apply myself, if I change a few things about myself, if I study, if I read, maybe I can do it. So that's what it is. That's the hope, by seeing your peers or people around you, or sometimes people that look like you do it, then it gives you hope that you can do it.
Okay, what about the family? Okay, so now the different you has come out, can you tell people how to react to family members that are not used to the new you?
Ooh, man, that's a mean one there. I can talk for days of that, but
let's get into them.
Essentially, what the family is, you always gonna have family members that believe you changed. You have the family members that saying you the same person. So essentially, what you got to do is nobody matters. It's only you. You have nothing to prove to your family. You have nothing to prove to your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle. You have to walk in your lane. When I got home, I bought a house less than a year when I was home. Ooh. Still own it. It's a rental now.
Okay.
People was like, you're moving too fast. You gotta stop listening to people that don't know your walk. They don't know your story. They don't know what is planned for you. Right. You supposed to know it, and if you believe in it enough, if you prepare for it enough, you're not afraid to walk alone. They'll catch on eventually. Right. They caught on now, but it's up to you to believe in yourself that much that regardless of what they say and what they think, it unbothers you. It's not bothering to you at all. And essentially, I bought a Benz, and they thought I was out there selling again. My feelings was hurt because I'm like, y'all know I work day and night. I work my day job, get off and go work some more. So it kind of hurt me. But then it was the realization to me that they forgive them because they not know what they do. I know. So that's all that's important. They don't know what I make. Only thing they might know is a 9 to 5.
Right.
So why am I listening to workers when I'm a boss?
Gotcha.
You gotta learn to differentiate between it.
Okay, and what he was just conveying was a thought process, because if you don't have that thought process, it could make you emotional. Can it not?
Yeah, I was emotional. I was hurt, and I was like, damn, why they don't believe me? But the thing you have to remember is I messed up. Now I have to give him, I gave him a reason to know that I'm a mess up, so now I gotta give him a reason to know that I'm a success. And that takes time. It's not overnight. They believe now because they see.
It's just proof, man.
It's proof.
It ain't no sketch.
I ain't gotta, it's amazing actually because I've never in my life thought that I would be running a company that that's making this kind of money right here in Hampton Roads.
Gotcha.
So it's like, sometimes I amaze myself, but still, that was what, 11, 12 years ago. It's just now getting to that point. So from year 1 through 8 or 9, it was a lot of friction, a lot of unbelief, a lot of frustration, a lot of but you still got, as long as you believe in yourself and believe that the work you put in is gonna manifest. Because one thing about knowledge is right and exact. Just like mathematics, 5 plus 5 is 10, no matter where you go at on this earth. So if you believe in what you're doing, work it, and it's gonna produce the results that you.
I just want to say this, is that I know that you all might get this at different times and periods in your life. We know that there's different mediums of visual aid that comes to us. TV, videos, especially music, TV, movies, and so forth. What you're just conveying is, listen, do not let these things take over you, versus knowing the reality of what the brother was just conveying is that, success now is a reflection on 10 years.
That's right.
That TV show and that video that you seen is only 5 minutes.
That's right. That's a very important point because people see now and they don't know what I went through to get to this point. They're like, oh, my brother tell me, like, dude seems like, yo, I want to be like him. So do you really want to go through what I went through? And are you going to make the same steps that I made to get to here if you was in my shoes?
You got 11 years?
You got 11?
You got 11 years, right, because somebody see you right now.
Right.
They still ain't saying whether or not they got 11 years.
Right.
Yeah. And then that's just 11 years from that point. That's not the years that
was before. You ain't got into the part when I was down.
Right.
So it's like, you see it now. The backstory is what I want to get out to people.
Right.
I think it's more important what I did when I was down than how successful I am now. Because what I did when I was down is a direct product, reflection, seed of what I'm doing now. So without that, there is no this. But it is proof that if you apply yourself and work through it, you can achieve success. So like I say, when I came home, it was like I was in a halfway house.
Okay.
And my job was in Chesapeake. I was in Norfolk. So I didn't have a ride. What I had to do, I had to catch the bus.
Oh.
So I caught 3 buses to get to work. I had to get out 5, 6 o'clock. Dudes aren't that committed to success. They saying, I need a ride. I'm not gonna get up that early. I rode a bike. Bike broke down on the way to work. I walked the bike to work. Success, man, let me tell you, you want it that bad. Failure was not an option. So I went through it. So when people talk about what I got down, if you want it, go through what I did to get it. And that's why you got so many workers and not a lot of bosses.
Because everybody could see it but not be willing to walk. In other words, when they say they need somebody to lead you to their water, you got a lot of people on the edge, but it ain't a lot of people drinking.
Right.
It's a lot of people looking right there, but people had, in other words, there's a lot of what we're doing now. There's a lot of brothers and sisters that might be willing, just like you, to lead other people just like you that's watching to the water. But as you've been saying, you have to make the determination, and you're gonna have to put in some time. Once you have somebody here telling you now, you have to put in.
Well, one thing I can say is the guys that I built with when I was down, essentially the majority of my guys, they own their own business now.
Oh.
Because I came and I laid the groundwork, the foundation. I showed them that it's possible. I came from where you came from, and I did it.
Right.
And now it gave them hope.
Gotcha.
And now they are successful. At least 3 of my homies, all of them own businesses now. And we was walking that track together.
Right. So basically, if there is all the time, we are not always surrounded by successful people, in other words. But if there is someone, and anyone that you're affiliated with, do not have too much pride to, fellowship with them, because everybody don't want to see you last.
Right.
In other words, what you're saying, with the way that you initiated, you didn't want to see them last. They weren't going to be last. Now
they was getting scared coming home. They was like, man, I ain't never worked a job. I don't know what to do. I've been working since I was 12. So the work ethic is in me. I'll work anybody. That's my strong trait.
Okay.
But they was worried, and they tell me, man, I'm so thankful for you, because without you, I wouldn't know this was possible. They're successful business owners today, and without seeing it, they wouldn't know that it could be done. And so that's my goal, is try to show people and get the word out and share my story to show people that they can do it as well, and that it's possible. With a felony, it doesn't matter. If you want it bad enough, you can get it. This is America, the land of opportunity. They might try to hold you back and not give you a second chance and hold your past against you, but there's always ways around it, and the trades is one big way to capitalize on it. But you're gonna have to change some things, but you can't be, yo, what's up? You gotta learn how to talk to people, you gotta learn how to articulate yourself, you gotta learn how to be able to sell to everybody, not just your people or the people you grew up with, because really those aren't gonna be the people that support you. Most of my people is not gonna pay me $165 an hour to come to their house.
Right.
So why am I marketing to them? That's business. Market to the people who your market is. But we got more shows for that.
Yeah, so we definitely do appreciate you giving us some personal in-depthness of your experience at the beginning stages, because that's what we want you all to grasp. We want you to know, what I'm saying? We don't want to bunny hop over, those things and so forth. But please take note that Brother Nevie is not McDonald's. Brother Nevie is not MacArthur Mall. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Brother Nevie is right here as a living testimony to 7-5, to us being able to speak up at 757 about success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even though you don't know him, you know what I'm saying? The success is here, so you could be the same thing. You don't have to be the name brand that's out there on the street or the commercials to be successful. Everybody ain't got to cheer for you to be successful. So when we come back, we definitely will get into more in depth of this travel that this brother did and is willing to convey to you right now in 2017. We appreciate you being here. Wow, 757 speaks up. Peace and love to the family.